Hello and welcome to another episode of the Otakuology podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike, and with me as always is Jin. He is made up of 120 colors, Graves, and he likes to
I'm
ride up the Rainbow Starship.
I'm made up
Today we're
of that many
talking about
colors.
Stranger Things Season 2, Episode 8. 8. We're on Episode 8.
Episode 8, the Mind Flayer.
The Mind Flayer. I will say, like we said with our first recording, this episode a lot more streamlined than the previous episodes. I will say
It's because we're at the point where everything's coming together.
it's true. That's my favorite part of the seasons, when everything starts to come together.
You're like, yes, I love it.
I love it. It's so good. I actually do really like this episode. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty solid episode.
I mean, anything's better than the last episode, honestly.
I mean, yeah.
So, well, how do we want to tackle this one?
I say we start from the beginning.
Okay.
We just start from the beginning. I feel like it's streamlined enough we can go through it.
Yeah. All right, so we kind of leave off at the beginning of the last one.
Where we get the big reveal from the giant hole in the ground.
Well, I guess it was 2 episodes ago, which is really going to throw me off that the last one really had nothing to do with any of it.
I mean, it does it until the very, very end.
Yeah. So, leaving off episode 7.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember what that one was called.
The Sisters? The Lost Sister, I think it was?
No, it was the one before that.
Oh, The Spy.
Yeah, The Spy.
The Spy.
So leaving off with the end of The Spy, we have where Hopper is down in the lab with Professor or Dr. Owens.
Yeah.
And a Dimmadog has put its paw up on out of the hole that the guys were going down earlier in the season.
I like this scene real. This scene made me laugh. Where he's like, "Oh, it's like high carbon polymer or something, glass or something." And he's like, "He can't get through it. They're not gonna break it." And then like 5 more show up.
Yeah,
and they break it.
Really throws me off on the fact of there's one, and I don't know why one of them couldn't have broken it, when like all it would have done is like repeated like throwing themselves into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I know they're fairly strong. I don't think they're as strong as like Demogorgons.
No, because they're like
they are strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of it was an anime, I think, where there's some kind of creature and they were trying to get through a wall and they kept throwing themselves into it. I can't remember what it was, but they did kind of the same thing, so that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
But we have that where it's Hopper and Dr. Owens, where it's like, hey, we have this, we don't have to worry about it. And like you said, the Dimmadogs end up getting up. And this is before we have that name coined, actually. They throw themselves into it, and then we get where the guards that barred Mike are kind of like, hey, what's going on in there? And they take going towards the elevators and everything. All the doctors are trying to get out everywhere.
And Mike and Bob rush into the room, and Mike's like, they're coming, they're here. We gotta fucking put him to sleep.
Yeah.
Him being Will.
Yeah.
Will.
Which I love this scene because we get that little like fakeness to him. And Joyce is like, who am I? And he's like sitting there like studying her real hard.
Your mom.
Mom, your mom.
Mom.
And she goes, get the syringe.
Yeah. She's like, this is not my fucking son.
I'll hold him down.
He goes out pretty fast after receiving that shot.
Yeah. Which it seems like it happens every time when he gets hit with the shot.
Yeah, and the whole building gets put on lockdown at this point. Bob and Owens No, not Bob and Owens. Hopper and Owens come in and they're like, we have to like fucking move. We have to move now. And like all the power gets cut off at this point. The place goes into lockdown. And so they come up with a plan to basically reboot the system at this point, I believe, right?
Yeah, and they're in the security room.
No, they go to the security room. They're like in like the East Wing or something like that. They make it there and they come up with this plan that Bob is gonna go and reboot the like the breakers and stuff, the generators or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's got to
And
turn the computer on. He's got to put in basic, which
which
we
is
find out more what that is.
it's funny because he's like, "Do any of y'all speak basic?" And Hopper is like, "What? What are you talking about?" It's like,
Show it to me. I'll do
"Show
it.
it to me." He's like, "Why don't I just teach you German or
Yeah. Why don't I
French?" I
teach
think
you
it was.
French? Why don't I
Yeah,
go ahead and teach you German at the same time?
it's really funny because Hopper very much tries to take charge in this situation, but he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he's not nerdy enough to do it.
Neither does Dr. Owens. He doesn't speak basic as well, which is just like basic computer stuff at, like
Yeah,
programming and
which
stuff.
throws me off a little bit because you would think like you know, a high level like member of the government would kind of know at least basic.
Yeah, yeah. You think, but I
Uh,
mean, he's just a doctor. He's not like a computer guy.
well, and he may be lying about it.
Maybe, maybe.
Maybe he didn't want to walk out there, so he lied about it. But yeah, this is Bob's time to shine.
Yeah.
Um,
I love the scene where they drag the body because I thought it was the Demogorgon at first. And I forgot, oh, wait, that's Bob and Hopper grabbing the body and taking all the stuff off of it. But
which
I
body?
love they grab the body of like a guard, I think it is.
Okay, and they take the gun and everything else. Yeah,
They
yeah,
take the gun and they take the like headset. I just love this little scene between Bob and Hopper.
yeah,
Like, there's kind of like a little bit of a rivalry. They knew each other in high school and stuff. And like, I feel like they kind of have a moment. Like, Hopper teaches him about guns, and like Bob kind of like, is there to help and stuff. Like, Bob was like
yeah.
a
It's like
really,
a level
really,
of respect.
yeah, like a level of respect, I would say. Yeah, no, you're right on that part.
But
Uh,
I think from Bob's view though, he also kind of looks at Hopper and it's kind of like, like I'm the guy that Joyce wants right now because I have more like the right skill set at the current moment that you don't, Hopper.
I guess maybe, but I don't really see that in Bob, to be honest.
I will only say that I feel that way about Bob because of the comment he made in like episode 2 where he's like, who would have ever thought I would have dated
Oh,
Joyce Byers,
yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, I haven't really see that insecurity in Bob, except for that one scene. Like you said, I never
Well,
thought I would date Joyce.
and I think it's because now he's kind of got that whole thing going now because he knows Joyce and Hopper used to hang out.
I guess, yeah.
And so now he's kind of like, oh, well, what do I have to worry about? Like I have the tools for this that
I
you
n-
don't.
I never really picked up on that. I just really more picked up on the fact that Bob knew what he was talking about and wanted to help
Yeah,
in this sense. And
yeah,
then we move from that to Max's parents come home to their house. They
yeah.
find out that Max is gone, the window's open, and Billy is sitting there listening to some Metallica, primping himself, making himself look good.
Putting some
And
putting
what?
some aftershave in his hair and some aftershave down there.
And on his nuts.
Yeah,
And we get one of the weirdest, I think this is probably one of the weirdest scenes. It was one of the weirdest scenes ever, I feel like, because we don't really see Max's parents. Like,
no,
ever. Ever.
yeah. I
We're
th-
more.
did we see her mom before at all, or was
I
this the
don't know. I
first one?
think this is the first time we actually see her mom. I know we
Yeah.
see her, I think, in like maybe season 3 and 4,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
want to say.
yeah,
When it comes to like the disappearance of Billy, I think it is. And then
yes. Season 3.
eventually like they move out and they get their own place or whatever. But like you can see they don't really fully explore this, and I kind of wish they explored it a little bit more in the fact like about like their parents and having this weird abusive blended family, mostly abusive from Billy's dad's point of view, you know?
Yeah,
And it's a weird intense awkward scene where Billy's getting ready, you know, for his date, and like they come in, they're looking for Max, and he's like, "What are you doing, primping your his words, faggot self?" You know,
yeah,
like where's Max? And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe she's at the arcade. Who knows? You know, I can't worry about that right now. I got a date." And then
yeah.
we
And you
get
guys
like,
were late by 3 hours.
yeah, you guys were late by 3 hours, and then we see his dad like put his hands on Billy, and Billy's like a very like intense guy. He's a very
Yeah,
intense a guy, a pretty strong guy, I would say, and he gets basically manhandled by his dad.
yeah.
It,
Which,
eh,
I mean, you can kind of tell that just the way that Billy is, like, he obviously is scared of his dad and he doesn't know how to overcome that. Because, I mean, the way he kind of like handles Steve and part of the other guys that are in high school, I mean, if he really wanted to, I think he could mop the floor with his dad, but he's probably
yeah,
got that fear instilled in him from a young age.
yeah, and it's crazy because he like basically gets the shit slapped out of him, and he's just like, what do we do?" It's like respect and responsibility, Billy. You know, and apologize to you. To I forget. I think her name was like Sarah or something, right?
Susan.
Susan, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh no, it's okay." So you can see kind of like the family dynamic in this spot. Like,
Yeah.
I
And
don't think,
I really feel like though, like he probably presented himself differently, which is why Susan got with him.
yeah,
And now I'm kind of at a toss up between if Susan tries to keep Neil away from Max and Billy, or if she's just kind of like on the outside of it and just
well,
lets it
I
happen.
I kind of wonder if maybe he's only abusive to Billy.
No, I'm sure he's only abusive to Billy, but I wonder what Susan's thing is for it. Is she does she kind of keep Neil away from them, or does she just kind of like let it happen to
Yeah,
Billy? Because you
uh,
can almost kind of tell when Neil's telling Billy like, "Hey, you're going to apologize to your mom," that that Susan kind of seems like thrown off by it a little bit too. Like she's used to it, but she's also thrown off and feels uncomfortable with it as well.
yeah, by like being called his mom, I guess, because you know maybe she doesn't look at it like that.
No, no, I just mean in general by like probably her being too scared to step in to say anything to Neil because maybe he'll do it to her.
Maybe, you know, we don't really go past that. I don't think. I think maybe it's later on. It's implied that maybe,
Um, well, later on, what ends up happening, I know, is that Neil actually leaves in season 3, I believe. And so it's just Susan, Max, and Billy. And then all this stuff happens, and then they end up moving to a trailer in 4 where it's just Susan and Max.
yeah,
So at that point, it's almost like Neil didn't care at all.
no, he definitely doesn't care. Like
Um,
after Billy's gone, like he has nothing there really.
yeah. And like
I would
Susan
say,
and everybody else didn't care, didn't matter. So,
yeah,
um, but then we kind of get away from that a little bit where which is a scene that I like, which is where Steve is with all the kids, which is one of the scenes he's known as for being mom,
the baby. No, it's the babysitter.
the babysitter. And it's Max and Lucas and Dustin brings up to Lucas about how he kind of found out more of who Dart is. Um,
Yeah,
that he's one of the demo dogs, and that he knows because the coloring that's on him, which I kind of wonder how the coloring was on him. I'm really
I think it.
thinking
I
I'm
think it
really
was on
thinking that
him.
Dart is the one that came out of Will.
Yeah, no, I think that's been established.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Uh
he just had that weird like yellow coloring the whole time.
no, I know that, but what gave him the yellow coloring compared to all the rest of them?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they just did it to distinguish him
Yeah.
from all the others.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think he was probably the one that directly came out of Will. These other ones, I think they just came out of wherever. Like we don't really know where they came from.
He's technically Will's child.
He's Will's child.
That he doesn't.
Will and Vecna's child. um, but I mean, like it's pretty funny. And then we have the whole team dynamic that we've talked about. Like I feel like almost all this season,
Yeah.
which is really weird that we're having it between Lucas and Dustin right now, because we did have it between Lucas and Mike in season 1 over 11, and now we're having it between Lucas and Dustin, kind of for Max, but
Yeah,
it's
and
weird that Mike's not even there.
yeah, the whole thing with Max, the whole weird trying to get Max to be their girlfriend is really weird. But I feel like it's kind of a normal thing with boys, I would say.
Well, and I think at some point Lucas didn't even like consider that to be what it was
No, I think he just wanted to be friends, and then it just developed into like a
for
potential
her.
romance.
Yeah, I feel like for him it kind of felt like he was at a miss, like he missed out on something. And then like
Yeah,
you said, just wanting to be a friend. And then now it's kind of like, but Max has fallen for Lucas.
and
So
we get this like weird interaction between Lucas and Dustin. I almost forgot his name, Dustin, and they're like talking about Dart, and they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, he's a Demogorgon. I didn't know he was a Demogorgon. You know, he ate a cat. What? He ate a cat? Yeah, he ate my cat." And
yeah.
Dustin was kind of like trying to cover it up, and then like we hear these noises, and like Steve is off in the bushes and stuff, or not in the bushes, like in the woods, and like they start going towards the facility and stuff. But like we have this really weird scene with Dustin and Lucas, and like Dustin basically gives his approval to the Max and Lucas relationship.
Well that's later on.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah,
Yeah, it does happen. When they go back to the buyer's house later on
maybe
after
I'm
all this
mixing
crap.
things up in my head.
Yeah, because that happens at the buyer's house after they bring Will back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on where we've talked about the basic, and then we have where Nancy and Jonathan are like, we're going to go to the lab,
Oh yeah, and it's closed.
and it's closed and the power's off and everything else. And then that's when the kids and Steve end up showing up. Um,
I like this scene. I like this scene where they're like, "Oh my god, there's something in the woods," and then they come out of the woods,
yeah,
and they're all trying to get the door open, and Dustin pops in, and he's like, "Let me try. Get out of the way, Jonathan. I know what I'm doing."
yeah,
And he can't get the fucking door open.
yeah,
Like him opening the door is gonna be the best thing ever. I feel like, according to Dustin.
yeah.
It's funny. It's funny because he thinks he did it. He thinks he did it, but in reality, he didn't.
He's got to show his muscle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's it's a funny
but
scene.
yeah. I mean, it's one of the ones I think is really nice because you do have that like meeting back up with everybody, where now it's Steve and Nancy kind of like, oh, so now you really are with Jonathan, and
Yeah,
there's not really that much stuff to like have that awkward moment I feel like we had at the end of season 1, where it was she gave Jonathan the camera and then we see Steve on the couch
yeah.
that you and I kind of had because we were like, wait, where's Jonathan? Why is he leaving? Come back, Jonathan. So, it's really set in what we know now of what that relationship was.
I've honestly always kind of hated the rivalry between like the rivalry between Jonathan and Steve for like Nancy's affection.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the things I've always kind of hated. We already know how it ends up.
Yeah.
2020 is hindsight is 2020. But I've always hated it because I feel like even though like Steve was kind of an asshole in season one and like pretty much a bully, I feel like they kind of should have moved past that and Jonathan and Steve be friends.
I
And
just
some
don't think they ever had that opportunity.
maybe.
Because like we talked about at the end of season one too, like whenever clearly Steve was probably the one that bought the camera for
Yeah,
Jonathan,
yeah,
it was never brought up.
yeah,
Like, and I think at any point that would have been a cool throwback to say, hey, Steve bought that camera for you.
yeah. And
Um,
eventually they do become friends.
yeah, yeah.
But it takes them a
Um,
fucking while.
but it's also really weird just how everything happens because I think they are friends, but they're not friends in the classical sense of like they're going to go out and have a beer. They're friends because they're in the same group.
They're
Um,
acquaintances.
yeah, like so the weird comparison that I'm going to make here is it almost seems like Scooby Doo in the gang, where it's Fred, Daphne, and Velma that always go off together for like a good chunk of things.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get it where it's just Fred and Daphne, and Velma goes off with Shaggy and Scooby.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of like that whole thing, like that, like that you have that one group where it's like, yeah, Velma's over here and it makes sense, but then it doesn't always make sense. And then it goes over to her being on the other side. And we get just this really weird kind of why is this stuff going on that way? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't think they ever got a chance, honestly. Like we're talking about, like this is the first one was obviously them fighting for season
Mm-hmm.
one. Season two, it's kind of you have you have where the breakup and the get together, breakup with Steve, get together with Jonathan, and then moving into like season three is where Steve focuses on like a job and everything, and then he
Yeah.
gets Robin as his friend. So it's kind of like somebody took the position that Jonathan could have filled,
Yeah. But yeah. Can you
and
take?
then obviously him and Nancy worked together, so there was never really an opportunity yet for that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. But they do end up getting into the facility, and we see Bob basically going through the halls, getting to like the area where like the generator and stuff is to reboot the system and like unlock all the doors and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
He is successful in doing that, and Hopper and Joyce and Mike and Will get out.
Which I love this scene too, where he's doing it, and they're like, "Oh, hey, like they're not clearing the floor. Like, how are we going to do this?" And he goes to like activate the sprinkler system, and it's like he's like a code breaker. He's like, "Splash!"
He's like, I got this.
Yeah, splash.
Yeah, no,
So
I like this scene. And it's a really intense scene of them trying to get out and like him having to get out and he forgets his gun. Now, him forgetting the gun, I don't think would have stopped the Demodogs because even when Hopper kills or hits the Demodogs, it doesn't seem to do anything to them,
yeah,
with the bullets.
yeah. I didn't see the gun as a big part when he left it either, but especially for somebody that didn't really know how to use it anyway, you know.
Yeah.
But the whole part where he's like in the he goes to the closet because Owens is telling him like, hey, the thing's in the hallway, like you have to watch out.
Uh huh.
And he ducks into a broom closet real quick, and then coming out where he knocks the broom over,
Yeah.
I was like, just pick up the broom and like, hit the thing with it.
I mean, I don't
Um,
think that would do any good at this point,
yeah,
but he does end up getting away, and then the broom falls, which causes the Dimmadog to find him and run after him. And this is probably one of the worst scenes in Stranger Things. Worse because Bob is such like a beloved character, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah,
He's a beloved character, and like you have the moment of thinking that Bob is gonna make it.
yeah. And he
And
gets out.
he
He
gets
gets the
out.
he gets that hero's like look at his lady, at his princess, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, there she is," and you know,
He
dragon
has that
swoops
little
in and gets
smirk
him.
on his face, like everything's okay.
Yeah,
And then he
and
gets
then
brutally attacked by the
yeah,
Dimmadogs.
then bam, yeah,
Yeah.
and then we
Apparently when they were doing this, their mom, the Duffer's mom, did not want them to kill Bob off.
yeah, yeah, I knew that.
And apparently they did it, she did not speak to them for a while.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
can't
no, this
believe
is a
they'll
very
take that.
heartbreaking scene.
Yeah. Well, and then like we had where the first Dimmadog hit him, and then like you have where Hopper has to run back in and actually pull Joyce out. Or
Yeah,
was it Hopper or was it Jonathan?
it was Hopper. It was Hopper because
Okay.
they don't get into the facility. Jonathan and them don't get into the facility
Yeah.
after.
So Hopper runs in, grabs Joyce, picks her up as we see like more of them running up. And then it reminds me of a scene from Anaconda or Anacondas, like where all the snakes are there, like going ham on somebody. Like,
Yeah, and they're basically running for their lives, and they end up picking up the kids that are outside the gate, and they get there. They get back to the house, Will's house, and they're trying to figure out what exactly to do.
yeah,
And they're like, if um if he can't see anything and doesn't know where he is, we should be okay.
yeah,
Which makes them reorganize and redo their shed to be like a not like soundproof, but like they make it to where like he's not there. He doesn't know where he is.
it's not noticeable. And
Yeah.
then they put the bright lights on him and everything else too.
Yeah. It's a pretty crazy scene.
Yeah,
I do have to say I love the scene where it's just the kids. It's just the kids talking about Bob and like Bob's legacy almost.
yeah, about how he helped out the AV club and all that.
Yeah, he was the one who started it and like
Yeah,
raised money
with
and
Mr.
like
Clark.
taught Mr. Clark everything he knows basically. I kind of wish we got that a little bit more in like before Bob died.
Yeah, because Mr. Clark is who taught them D&D. So obviously, like Bob was probably playing D&D too. We just don't see that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do like the spot where we get the reference though for D&D in this, where they're trying to say, well, this thing is trying to like take over, and how the Mind Flayer actually gets its name, um, which is this big ghastly thing that we've seen like since since episode 1.
Hmm.
You know, um, they've actually named it. It's the Mind Flayer, and they give you a little bit of a history of what Mind Flayers actually are, and all this other stuff, which is one of the oldest races in D&D, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
That it got used. Um, but then also just saying what it is and making the comparison, like, hey, we're technically all here as like playthings for that until it can figure out what it wants to do per se.
Yeah.
So, and then
Yeah.
that's where we also get where the Dimmadogs is coined,
Hmm.
which it's
And
funny to me because I feel like Dustin still has a little bit, and you can agree with me or not. I feel like he still has a little bit of the bitch in him that Steve told him about, where it's kind of like, or the
uh,
bastard, I guess, where it's kind of like, hey, so sometimes you got to act like you're a hard ass to girls. And that's where he was like, it's Demogorgon and dog, Dimmadog. And she's like, you don't have to talk to me like I'm stupid. But that is exactly how it was coming off.
maybe, but I also kind of feel like Dustin's kind of a I don't want to say like a know-it-all.
Yeah,
He's just somebody who knows his stuff, I guess you could say.
I could
And,
see that. Yeah.
maybe he's trying to break it down so like the non Dungeons and Dragon people can understand.
Yeah.
But they do end up putting Will in that room, and they start to interrogate him and talk to him, and like, oh, do you remember what March was? It March 28th or something like that? That's your birthday, Will. You love your birthday. Do you remember when we listened to the Clash, the good music? Do you remember when we became friends? And Hopper figures out that Will is still inside himself, and he is doing Morse code at
Yeah.
this point, which I don't
Which
remember what
is
it
crazy.
spells out.
What's the first one that it spells out?
Yeah.
The first one that he spelled out is here.
Okay.
So he was telling them like, "Hey, I'm still here. I just can't communicate with you guys in a
Uh huh.
different way currently." And
Yeah.
then they go through this whole kind of uh peruse of memories and going down memory lane with him trying to like I guess keep the mind flayer like distracted.
Uh huh.
So they bring up all this different stuff of like, hey, do you remember when this happened? And do you remember this adventure? And do you remember, XYZ? And it just kind of keeps going the way that they're talking about all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they get basically this whole big thing of uh close the gate for all the stuff that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends up, I feel like, for the most part, working for them to get all the stuff for this Morse code down.
Yeah.
But then obviously the stupid phone has to ring and shit
Oh yes.
happens.
And they're like, it's a phone. We could be anywhere.
Yeah.
But he knows what his phone sounds like, I guess, and they put two and two together. Well, the whatever's inside Will puts two and two together, and he starts sending the demo dogs to Will's house.
Yes.
And we have the gang. They're all ready. Like Steve got his bat, Hopper has his gun,
Which,
Lucas has his wrist rocket,
yeah, and they all kind of do like this cool lineup of like front line of people and back line of people.
and then
Mike
Mike has a
Mike has
candle
like a candlestick. You're like,
candlestick.
what?
I'm like, what the
Um,
fuck is he gonna do with that?
right.
You know, and
Uh,
then they hear like all this commotion going on in the back, or no, in the front. They're in the front, and they hear all this commotion and stuff, and they hear like whimpering and like things getting smacked around and stuff, and then a demo dog flies through the window,
yes.
and they kind of like shocked at like what's going on, like what's out there. They think it's some big bad thing, and Hopper goes to check on the demo dog, and this is the one that's in their refrigerator, right? Is
You
this the
said
demo
what?
dog? The demo dog? Is this the demo dog that's in their refrigerator?
No. The What was in the refrigerator was the Demogorgon from season 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then that's the one that they supposedly took out and buried under the dog.
Okay. And so we get the big reveal. The big reveal for this episode. The door opens and out comes 11. Everybody thought, well, everybody but Hopper.
Yeah.
Everybody thought she was dead.
Yes.
I like this reveal. I
I like
like
this
the
reveal too.
reveal. I like it. I really wish she kept the punk look or the punk aesthetic. Like moving into like the later seasons and stuff.
Oh, I mean, we knew she wasn't going to keep that forever,
I like
but
it. It's just a little different and it looks kind of cool.
yeah,
That's just me. But
I can see that.
I like the reveal. I like the reveal. Everybody is shocked of what happens. You know, in the at the end, and like our episode kind of just ends at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah. Waiting for what's going to happen next because after that whole little thing from Will, it's basically closed the gate.
Yeah, yeah. So what did you think of this episode?
Oh, and they did sedate him again after that.
Oh, they
So
did.
after
Yeah,
the
they
phone
did.
rang.
They did. They had a bunch of
Um,
that sleep juice.
yeah. Well, so one thing that I really wondered too is, did more people have phones like that? Because, and then like, so the funny thing is too, like when I'm watching this, my mom was in the room with me,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, after Dustin's trying to like hang the phone up, and then like goes over again because it starts ringing again to do it, and Nancy just walks over and pulls it off the roll and throws it. I was like, "Damn it, that's our third phone this time already."
Yeah.
And she just looked at me and she goes, "What?" I said, "Do you not remember in season one where two phones burnt up?" And I said, "Clearly that's a new phone because it's green and the other ones were yellow."
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it was funny as shit. No, I like this one. I really enjoy it. I think the sisters episode really throws it off.
Yeah.
I I wish we had gotten that scene where all the stuff happened between Eleven and Hopper faster,
Uh-huh.
and then that we actually had that one with the sisters actually split up more, where that episode was earlier, but we got the little ending thing where 11 actually like sees Hopper and everybody like in a later version, just to kind of like give us more of a tie and say like, hey, the gang of people that are eight's people are kind of there more, because only being in two episodes seems kind of stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I do like this episode. I think it's a very good like horror episode.
Yeah,
Like it's a very intense episode with the demodogs and stuff. You very much get like the survival horror aspect in this, and it's very much bringing everybody together, which is one thing I do like is when they're all kind of together and like we're bringing all the puzzle pieces together, and like it's still like a solid reveal, like because I mean we forget that everybody thinks Eleven's dead,
that's true.
like and just to see the look on their faces, like
Yeah, well, and the fact that she ran off, so we kind of do get a little bit of that closure with Hopper as well. That,
yeah, and
oh,
he
now
kind
she's
of
back.
yeah, like he didn't even know where she went,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just like
Well,
crazy, like
and then to come in and see her totally different from how she was before. I mean,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and
it's
but
it's
like in the last episode though that we talked about, it's really weird seeing her come in because of what she's wearing. She looks so much older than everybody else,
she does. She looks a
and
lot older.
then like you see like in this where Mike walks up and he's like 11, and you're looking at Mike and you're like, Mike seems so young, like
I know. I
almost the
know.
same like how he does in season 1. And then 11 looks more like she does, or like she would be kind of like her age in season 3.
She looks like she
So
hit puberty.
yeah, yeah, so it's real crazy on like that whole thing of like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm glad we're almost done with this season, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm getting a little Stranger Things out covering this again, but yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
glad.
enjoying it, but I feel like this one, the closer we were getting to the end, like we are getting those ties, and so you feel like it needs to go faster. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, we
And
definitely slowed with episode 7.
yeah,
Like we came to
or
like a solid stop, I feel like, with the plot.
yeah, yeah,
And we're
um,
ramping it back up.
yeah, that's true. So, but I mean, the good thing will be all of our efforts will be okay, because
Yeah.
we will also be getting able to see that new season that will come out. What is it, the end of April?
Yeah, I believe so.
So we'll get to see that, and we'll have a few times after this actually comes out for you guys to listen to. We'll have one more episode, and then we'll have something else that's filler in between those times. So we'll get a little break, kind of, sort of.
A little tiny break. I think
Yeah,
we'll be able to, if we do it correctly. I think we might be able to squeeze the Turtle Stranger Things comic into it.
for the 3 weekends,
Yeah.
even even those 4 chapters.
Yeah, maybe.
see, see, you're like, damn it. You're right.
Maybe. We'll see. We can do like an issue episode or something.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Um,
they just might be a little shorter.
that's
You know,
true. Or we could double up on a couple. I mean, we could do
yeah.
half
Who
and
knows?
half.
We'll have to see.
Um, yeah. So I mean, pour one out for Bob.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Um,
We
that's
should
that's really all I can say on this one.
we
Like,
should cover the comic book that focuses on Bob. There's a
uh, I don't know which one that is.
I don't remember what issue it is or what like story it is, but there's one where like it's Bob and he like goes on an adventure. And you know how like Will like makes up like Super Bob and stuff?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We
I
may
think he
have
goes
to.
on like I think he becomes like an Indiana Jones type of character.
We
And
may
like
have to find it and try it out.
yeah, we'll definitely have to. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening to the podcast. It's much
Thank you so
appreciated.
much.
And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah. Follow us at all places where you can find Otakuology podcast. You can also find me at Bard's Tavern on Instagram. I have a TikTok, but I don't really do anything on there. And stay tuned for other cool shit.
Yeah.
You can find Mike at the Otaku Mike on YouTube and on his Instagram. Also, every place that Otakuology is. You're like, I was just going to end it. I wasn't even going to bring this part
I
up.
wasn't going to bring it up.
Covered your ass. I covered your ass. But anyway, thanks for listening, guys. And Mike's going to play us off with what I usually say.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.